I call this regular meeting of the Village of Villa Park Planning and Zoning Commission to order. Roll call, Calvert.
Here.
Hofstra.
Here.
Jackson. Lemieux.
Here.
Ludke.
Here.
Orlowski. Romano.
Here.
Schlinsky.
Here.
And to and present. With that, we have quorum. Approval of minutes. Anybody have any questions or comments or amendments to the minutes from last month? There are no questions or comments. I move that we approve the minutes. Is there a second?
Second.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Minutes are approved. So we have one item of business tonight. The way the process will work is we'll start with presentation of the staff. We'll move to presentation by the petitioner if you have anything. Then we'll take any public comment if there is any. And then we'll have questions up here if there are any. We'll give the petitioner a chance to give any closing comments if they want, then we'll discuss and have a motion up here. So first item of business will be PZ 2411 for 25 South Charles Avenue, variation petitioner Thaddeus T. Collins. And then I'd ask, if you're going to speak, I need you to stand and raise your right hand, and we'll get you sworn in real quick. If you think you'll talk at all, go ahead. Yep. Okay. Yeah. Do you swear or affirm that the testimony you'll give in these proceedings is the truth and nothing but the truth? Right. Thank you. All right, whenever you're ready.
The applicant at 25 South Charles Avenue is requesting a side yard setback for a variation from Table 2-3 of Article 2, Section 2.3 for the lot and building regulations within the zoning ordinance to reduce the minimum side yard setback from 6 feet to 5 feet to allow a second-story addition on the existing foundation of the home. As mentioned, this is the overview of how we'll proceed through the case tonight. As mentioned, the existing home is a one-story ranch, and it extends into the side yard setback along the northern property line. You can see the area that is within the setback shown in the red box on the left-hand portion of the lot. The applicant proposes to add a second-story addition going vertically above the existing first-floor home. The additional rear addition would be compliant with all bulk regulations within the code, and the petitioner would be removing some existing lot coverage to comply with the maximum lot coverage requirements within the code. This removal area would be confirmed during the building permit process. The petitioner has outlined the area that they anticipate removing as part of the project. When staff did calculate this, it was compliant, so they're not requesting a lot coverage variation tonight. I have included the architectural drawings for the elevations of the home. The home does comply with the maximum building height. And then the floor plan, should we need to refer to those through the proceedings tonight. On the screen are the standards for variation review and approval. We will have a public hearing for anyone wishing to make any public comments, and then staff has prepared a sample motion if the commission feels it is appropriate. And with that, staff or the applicant can answer any questions.
Okay. So nothing, no presentation or anything from the applicant? Okay, just wanted to offer. Anyone from the public wishing to speak on this item? Okay. Go ahead, I'm going to need you to come up here and state your name, and I also need to swear you in. That's why I said, do you swear or affirm that the testimony you'll give this evening is the truth and nothing but the truth?
Yes, sir.
Thanks. Could you state your name and spell your last name for the reporter, please?
Robert Murada, Muraida. I'm just a neighbor and here to support of the petitioner tonight.
Okay.
That's basically it, just here to show
Okay,
support.
just out of curiosity, where do you live in relation to
38
that?
South Charles.
So is that,
It's a couple doors down.
Okay.
Across the street.
okay, thank you.
That's all.
All right. Don't see anyone else wishing to speak. Okay, questions from the commission?
Just out of curiosity, if you know off the top of your head, how much square footage are you adding to your house? I see your typical Ville Park, about 1,200 square feet now, is that about right?
Yeah, I think it's 117 or something like that. I don't know the
Sorry,
exact.
I mean, it's not important, I was just curious.
It's in here,
It's like a,
and I'll say that my husband and I, when we bought this house, I grew up in Villa Park, my husband did not. He was living in Glen Ellen, I begged him to move to Villa Park. We bought this little house, and he's like, fine, 2 years. And I was like, no, we're gonna build, we're gonna stay. My parents live 2 blocks over. You can see their master bed from my master bedroom window. So, however weird or not weird that is. But, he fell in love with the area. We have 5 kids, and we are renting because we don't fit in this house. So we are renting somewhere else in here in Westmont, and we cannot wait to come back. So we are hoping that you guys will take this class.
Okay.
Could you clarify what you're gonna do to meet the 60% coverage? Is it this, just that triangle off on the,
The implanting impervious,
yes,
I think he wants to do the gate.
Do you have a clear answer, Michelle?
Yeah, so, the existing lot has, the driveway paved all the way back, and
Yeah.
then this is squared off. There's an addition on the existing garage that would be removed. I believe this rear shed would be removed. And then also there's pavement that goes all the way to the property line along the south property line.
okay,
That would be removed, so it'd be, the driveway would be more angled to the entrance into the southernmost portion of the detached garage. That section of removal would bring it into compliance with lot coverage.
is there still a pool on the property, or no?
A pool, no.
So
The plot of survey has, yeah.
The plat mentioned a pool, that was, from my understanding in talking with the applicant, a structure for a trampoline. It wasn't actually a pool.
Oh,
And it was incorrectly listed as a pool on their plat.
all right.
and what kind of structure is that? Is it on concrete or?
For
You mean the trampoline itself?
Yeah, trampoline
trampoline,
itself.
it's just a
It's
metal
just a
frame,
regular trampoline,
a regular trampoline that for some reason the surveyor
called it a
listed as a
above-ground
pool.
swimming pool.
Not sure if they thought, I don't know, it could be
Okay.
an above ground pool,
Well, we
but
just have the frame, like in the winter, we just have the frame, and then when we were renting, we didn't have it set up, we just had the frame. So I don't know, I guess it could.
It's all about rainwater being able to reach the earth.
Yeah. And a surveyor taking the time to walk to the back of the property.
right, yeah. So that was not counted as lot coverage.
Do you know what the recalculated lot coverage would be?
It's within a couple feet of the
Yeah, I was gonna say, I would think you're,
maximum. Yeah, I think we're in the single digits.
okay,
I don't know the exact number,
okay.
but we would recalculate that as part of the
Okay.
building permit process.
Any other questions?
Not for the petitioner, no. no.
Okay. Anything down here? No? Any closing comments from the petitioner before we move? Okay. So,
Does the existing house have a basement? Okay, right, but you're not expanding the basement to the back portion, or?
You mean for the addition outside of the variance that we're requesting? There will be a new basement.
Okay,
There what? Will be a new basement.
what square footage?
so the variation allows the two-story expansion of the existing structure, but the addition at the rear that's being added is all within the setbacks, and that will have a new basement. That will have a basement and,
And, okay, yeah, looking at, that was where my thought is, just with the expanded lot coverage, obviously you've got in the Villa Park lecture about flooding, and so,
And from my grandfather.
for your basement, I hope they're planning for that, for the additional, yeah. so. Okay.
all right, any discussion from the commission?
Up here? No, I mean, we've had several types of projects with second floor additions, and this is no different than those that we've recently seen.
Discussion right here.
I concur with Eric. I think this is pretty consistent with how we have analyzed and voted, or what I suspected will be the vote for similar circumstances from other petitioners.
Yeah, and I understand it with the need for the second story addition and built, on the existing foundation, and the proposed addition at the rear meets all the setback standards. And I will say, when I first looked at the property online, I did wonder about lot coverage, so I'm glad that was that was addressed. If any other discussion, and if not,
Just to
then
confirm, Michelle, it's a 50 by 150 lot, right?
No, 50 by 187. Looked like it was 187 deep. Oh, no, 150. Yeah, I was looking at something else. Sorry.
150 by
Like
50.
So it's not a big lot.
no, that's actually that would be on the small side for Villa Park,
Yeah.
right? Lengthwise.
Yes.
So you can see where the lot coverage came into play then. Based on that size. Okay.
Right. If there's no other discussion, then if someone would make a motion. Anybody?
Make a motion to recommend approval of PZ 2411 for a variation from Table 2-3 of Article 2, Section 2.3, lot and building regulations of the zoning ordinance to reduce the minimum interior side yard north setback requirement to 5 feet along the north property line as depicted on Exhibit B for 25 South Charles Avenue.
All right, we have a motion. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Okay, so we have a motion to approve the item. It's seconded. Are there any questions or comments on the motion? Okay, roll call. Calvert,
Yes.
Hofstra,
Yes.
Lemieux,
Yes.
Ledke,
Yes.
Romano,
Yes.
Schlinsky.
Yes.
I too vote yes, and with that, our recommendation will pass to the village board, and they are the final decision makers on this matter. Good luck. All right, do we have any discussion items?
Not tonight.
Okay, anyone wishing to speak on non-agenda items? Yeah, come up and please state your name for the record.
Good evening. Joe Amore, A-M-O-R-E, 309 East Maple in Villa Park. Been a resident here since 1985, and bringing you information tonight. The Salt Creek Greenway Trail that goes through Elmhurst, then connects to the Villa Parks portion. Their segment runs on Villa Avenue, although it's suggested that the sidewalk, the only sidewalk on the west side of Villa, is the suggested route because there's a painted crosswalk at Thomas, there's another painted crosswalk at Second, north of the DuPage Materials plant, and signage directs users to go that route. So there is right now a Villa Avenue improvement project that's designed to redo Villa Avenue between North Avenue and St. Charles. And been picking up bits and pieces of information, and apparently the plan that was submitted to IDOT routes the trail of the existing portion and then suggests widening the sidewalk on the west side up to Second and directing it back across. They're also recommending these the rectangular rapid flashing beacons at both crossings. If you guys put one of those, not you guys, that's traffic and safety, but if they put one of those beacons at the Tri-Trail connection crossing, that's going to put 4 on the segment on Villa Avenue between North Avenue and the Prairie Path. And all that just does is add to confusion. I've been petitioning and arguing the point that if you narrow the center divider on the median, on the approaches to the railroads, on both sets of tracks. You could have room to build a protected bike lane on the east side, where right now there is no sidewalks. Because that's the gold standard now, protected bike lanes. It does not allow interactions. It, when you run over to the west side, you're putting trail users and pedestrians at risk, because you're going to have conflicts at Maple, at Beach, at Vermont, and at Plymouth. And now I understand that there's a new entity going to be going in at the 600 North Villa. It's PZ 2402. I was just looking at the minutes from last month. I didn't see anything in their plan that there may be a future trail going alongside their property line. Their trucks, and they admit even from the minutes, they're going to be operating cars, trucks, and equipment. It's going to be their national headquarters. So now you have another conflict with trail users. Now, on the east side, on that area north of the Canadian National up to 2nd, I did a look, see at the property lines, and our property, the parkway goes from the curb to the fence. Villa Park maintenance crews were out there mowing it the other day. So you're going to have less conflicts if you keep everything on the east side. But I know that's not your forte there, but I just was wondering if anybody knew why that when you guys were talking to these people at this Rose Paving, or I think it's Rose Paving, that they weren't made aware that there was going to be a trail along their property, and there's going to create conflicts with their drivers turning in and out of there, because now they got to look both ways and then behind them in case somebody's coming up behind them on the sidewalk. We're just trying to keep our people, our trail users, safe. I live in that house since '85. I will not go north of the tracks, because until the grade crossing feasibility study is released, if you get caught on the other side by a stopped or slow-moving train, there's no way to get back across. There's no sidewalks or infrastructure on 83. If you go all the way down to Ardmore, the next crossing, there's no guarantee that crossing won't be blocked too. So until they decide on where to do a grade separation and which crossing they're going to do and what type of crossing to do for grade separation, I'm recommending that to take another look at the design for Villa Avenue and build a safer infrastructure on the east side to keep our trail users and pedestrians safe. So that's all I wanted to ask you tonight.
Thank you. I would say that when they initially had presentation of the there were a few alternatives that were floated very early in the process. Without being privy to detailed studies, I too thought that the east side makes the most sense for that trail, because you don't have people going across and then back across twice. As for why it was ultimately selected for the west side during the planning process, I've not ever seen anything about that. I know it has been.
Right. South of the Union Pacific, if you go to the west side, you've got 4 mature trees and 2 fire hydrants you got to deal with. And the fact is that, some people have made the argument, well, you got the bus company there. Well, when the buses are active, usually that's when the trail's not being used. And they're among the safest drivers on the road. I would be more comfortable coming up to an approach to a school bus company than anywhere else, especially Maple, where people are in and out of Maple, because the sight lines are so bad, anybody going east regularly pulls out to that crosswalk, because they keep wanting to see the train, the traffic that's flying over the crossing, trying to get around the backups on 83.
Yeah, and I, in that meeting last month, I did raise the issue to staff with just reminding them and the applicant that theoretically that's where we've I don't know that there's been any final decision made on where the trail's going, but I know that's the way the things are leaning. But,
Villa Park is the lead on that project.
Yeah.
It's a joint project with Elmhurst, but they're paying, but the fact is if it's in Springfield and on some IDOT engineer's desk, it's not being proceeded, there's IDOT's short of engineers. I mean, that's common knowledge, at least it is for me, and I kind of marinate in that stuff. But the time to change it and make it better and safer is before they start tearing up concrete, especially those newly poured approaches on Maple. They just put those in a year and a half ago to get the crossing down to the street, and now if they want to widen it, I guess it's 4.5 feet as the recommended with an 8-foot width on the sidewalk. That's going to have to come out because you have already got conflicts because those sidewalks are too narrow for people to pass each other.
yeah.
So,
Okay, thanks for bringing that to my attention.
you're welcome. Thanks for your
Yep.
time.
Thank you. Right, anyone else from the public wishing to speak? Or does any member of the commission have comments or discussion items for this evening? Anything on my right, anything on my left? No? Okay. Motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
All right, all in favor?
Aye.
All right, we're adjourned.